Hello there. Welcome back to Forgotten Legends of Sound. We're doing another. This is for the letter C. So we're gonna keep on keeping on. Smaller stack. Not sure what else I'd need to say. So let's just go right in there.
Jump right into it.
Yeah. So first off, we got Kane's Offering with Gather the Faithful. This was on Frontiers Records. Kevin picked that up, I think. And then I picked up the Japanese versions. Ooh. So, you know,
your version better than mine?
So this version's a little bit better than that one. Check it out. I didn't even show you guys the CD on that one. Because just this one. So, anyways, and then we also got Kane's Offering with Stormcrow. Both their albums are good. Like, they're a good band. Like, if you like Sonata Arctica's soloing back before they got Elias, you know, Yanni Limitanen is a freaking awesome guitarist. So he's in this. And then they got if you like Stradivarius' vocalist. Timo Cotopelto sings on it. And then they also got Mikko Harkin on keyboards. So, you know, kind of cool.
You know, a little bit of a super group, I guess.
Super group, you know? Yeah. And then we got Kane's Offering. This is the Japanese one for Stormcrow. So the Japanese ones have bonus tracks. That's the reason why we usually pick up Japanese stuff. And then we got some Candlemass. Ooh, doesn't that look cool?
Epicus
Metallicus.
Oh, it's not Doomicus.
No, it is.
Oh, okay.
I just finished it. Yeah. That CD looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is, you know, kind of traditional doom metal kind of stuff. And then we got Candlemass with Nightfall. Yeah, so 80s, huh?
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
Painfully 80s.
Especially the guy on the left.
Yeah. Yeah, and these are very like early presses, so kind of cool looking, you know. For all you people that care about that stuff, like I think the early presses just look cooler. There's very few albums where I get a later press on purpose because I'm like, this later one just looks really cool. Then we got Candlemass with Tales of Creation, and I think this was on Music for Nations. Music for Nations had like Anathema and Catatonia, I think, or something. They're like, I think they're a British label or something. And then we got Candlemass with chapter, 6? And the reason why I think it's chapter 6 is after their 4th album, they had a live album. So then it jumps to, so studio albums, this is their 5th studio album, but it's like the problem with Chicago albums. You've got Chicago 1, Chicago 2, Chicago 3, Chicago 5, Chicago like 7, 10. Like it just, they keep jumping because they're like, oh, this is a double album, therefore this is like 2 and 3, but we call it Chicago 2, and it's just, it's annoying. I don't know. Anyways, then we got Candlemass with their self-titled album. This is whenever they got like back together. Then we got Candlemass with King of the Grey Islands. This one I actually haven't really heard that one before.
Yeah, I'm really familiar with the first one and that one.
Yeah, this one you showed me, and I remember that song Dead Angel, I was just like spinning that. I was like, yeah, Dead Angel. That's when I was like, Candlemass is actually pretty cool. And this is Death Magic Doom. And then we also got Candlemass with Psalms for the Dead. I'm not a huge doom metal fan, but it's kind of cool to just put on every now and then. And then we got Cans with Beyond the Gates, I think. Yeah, Beyond the Gates. I picked this up in Scotland when you, me, and Jake were there. Yeah. And at the time, I was pretty disappointed, not going to lie. I bet I'd like it more now, but at the time... Yeah.
All right.
That's the last name of the Hammerfall.
Okay. That makes more sense. My head is going all sorts of places.
Yeah, you're just like, oh, yo, Cans. Who thought of that name?
Sorry, a little bit of a side note. We used to like keep our CDs in like a binder and everything. Yeah. I always hated this one because it was just
like which way's up.
Yeah, exactly. Like which way's up. Yeah. But, I mean, generally we put the noise label like at the bottom, but still some of those CDs would just like you're like trying to turn it to make it upright, and it was just I just never liked the CD.
Yeah.
Sorry, Cans.
Sorry, Cans. And then we got Carcass with Descanting the Insalubrious. So necroticism, Descanting the Insalubrious. So I hope you guys think I'm smart. Because I said medical terms stuff.
Dude, I've learned so many medical terms from freaking grindcore and death metal. It's not even funny.
Yeah, you're pretty much a doctor now.
Yeah, pretty much, dude.
Pretty much. You know, there's problems with the medulla. Yeah, no, I've gone through that album a couple times, and it's like pretty good, but it doesn't capture me as much. I mean, it's pretty good, but it doesn't just capture me as I like this one more. This is more melodic. This is Heartwork, and this is one of those like hugely influential melodic death metal albums. So if you haven't heard it, that's okay. We're not going to make fun of you.
You should probably listen to it though.
Yeah, and then here's the next stack. We got Carcass with Surgical Steel. This is like their comeback album when they like reformed or whatever.
2014 or something.
Yeah. 13, but I'm not going to be that guy.
You just did it. 2013, I'm sorry.
And then we got Surgical Remission Surplus Steel EP. This came out in 2014.
2015.
Woo! Oh, man. No, it's funny just giving each other crap. Yeah. And this is a band that you got me into. It was in high school, and I remember you let me borrow Please Die and Fire Demon. And I remember listening to those when I would go out and throw newspapers to people or whatever when I was going around. So, yeah, I was like, this is pretty cool. Here's Who's Gonna Burn from Carnal Forge, named after the Carcass song. Carnal Forge. And then Fire Demon, Carnal Forge. This is just
say it normally.
Carnal Forge. There's some Carnal Forge.
Have you ever listened to Carnal Forge?
And then we got Carnal Forge with Please Die. This is freaking brutal stuff.
No, dude, this was pretty awesome. Brutal. Especially, dude, number one, just that beep,
yeah,
beep,
beep. Yeah.
Awesome. Midnight, I'm burning to the devil. Midnight, right. Midnight, my skin is melting. That's all you're becoming. Pure
Kevin, maybe you gotta take it away because we lost the plot.
It's been a long time since I've heard the song, so I do remember what now you guys are singing, but I don't know it that well.
Yeah, yeah. But you got some fond memories buried deep down inside.
Yeah.
And then here is what is this one? The More You Suffer from Carnal Forge. This one's actually kind of cool. The bullet in his head goes all the way through the CD.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool. This is what? Are You Dead Yet? Yeah, Are You Dead Yet? So kind of cool, little design, graphic design is this person's passion. We got Carnal Forge with Testify for My Victims. Honestly, these last three Carnal Forge albums I've never heard.
Yeah,
so I don't know if they're good. Yeah, I picked them up because they were super cheap. They're like $2 or whatever. So I was like, why not? Then we got Cattle Decapitation. We're just gonna do that for all the metal bands now. So here's the Harvest Floor. They like ushering the humans in, for something.
Yeah.
Who knows what? Who knows why the human are being ushered in?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if that's political ramifications. I don't know if there's
if it's
a little bit of a little.
I mean, what does it mean?
What does it mean? Then we got Cattle Decapitation. This is a Monolith of Inhumanity. This one's actually pretty good. I like that one. Pretty good, like death grind kind of stuff. And here's Cattle Decapitation with the Anthropocene extinction. That's the first one I heard. Dude, back when I first heard it, 2015, 2016 or so, I was ragging on it. I was just like, yeah, the vocals suck. And like, I was like, yeah, it's just like a bunch of like, vegan this and whatever. I was just going off on a tirade. Anyways, then I started liking Cattle Decapitation's music, and then I was like, whatever. Here's Death Atlas. This one's pretty good too.
I was actually really digging this one, dude.
Yeah, I think they're coming out with a new album, I think, in a month or something. Maybe it's already out. I don't know. So kind of interesting. A lot of people hate the art because it's like a human, like insect person,
Huh.
I don't know. People tell me things,
Yeah.
And then we got Celeste with Reign of Elements. Yeah. Check it out, Celeste. In high school, me and Kevin, we were absorbing as much power metal as we possibly could. Even bands that were more obscure and stuff, we were just like, yeah, this is sick. And that Charge song, when I first heard it, I was like, dude, this is awesome.
We first heard this, I think we downloaded it from LimeWire or something like that back in the early 2000s.
And then we got Celeste with Legacy of Fate. Kind of cool. And then this is a band that I'm a little bit newer to. The person this is Chaos Over Cosmos. The guy who's the guitarist for this, messaged me 2 years ago. Hey, can you review this? Check this out or whatever. And then I told him, and then I put it off for 2 years. I was just kind of I got better things to do for 2 years. And then I finally got around because I listened to it a bit back then 2 years ago. And then I finally was like, man, I told him I was going to review it. I need to get my crap done. So then I finally reviewed the album, and then I was just like, this is actually really cool stuff. So this is kind of prog metal kind of stuff, Actually, I should probably open it up so you guys can see. But it's pretty cool stuff. It's kind of space themed kind of lyrics and stuff. prog metal with like death metal kind of vocals, but also like kind of some clean vocals every now and then. And this is their new album. This one is a Dream, if ever there was one. This came out like, I want to say like 5 months ago or something. I bought these from the dude's Bandcamp and he sent them out, so I was just like, this is cool. So anyways, kind of just another band that's kind of more obscure to show you guys like, hey man, check this out, you know. Here's another obscure band. Here's Children of Bodom.
Who are they?
Who are they? You know, Something Wild. You know, I like this album, but I don't love it. You know, like I kind of feel like they were still trying to find their place with that first album.
Really?
I don't know, but that's just me. You know,
I do like the mascot. You know, the on each
Little
album.
Grim Reaper. Yeah, it's pretty original. You know.
I don't know. I don't.
No, I'm just fudging around. I'm just screwing with you.
It's still cool though. Like,
no, it is still cool.
I'm like, I don't think you're being serious.
Wait, you're telling a joke, aren't you? And then we got Hate Breeder. This one is actually probably my second favorite from them. That's pretty much Hate Breeder, Follow the Reaper, and Hate Crew Death Roll. You can't go wrong with those three. Those three are just awesome. So then we also got Children of Bodom with Follow the Reaper. And this one and that one, I ordered both of these. And I think you picked them up from like the CD store. Or I went with you like in California. And I remember picking up. So at the same time, I ordered Soulwork, Chain Art Machine, Children of Bodom, those two albums. And then I also ordered Darkane. But Darkane took a while to get in, Expanding Senses. And I remember listening to those. This is like 9th grade or something like that when we went back from Florida to visit. I was just blown away. I was like, man, this stuff is so cool. Especially Darkane. I was so hooked on that one. Anyways, just really cool stuff. So we also got Children of Bodom with Hate Crew Death Roll. Awesome album.
That album I started like really getting into like in the past 3 to 5 years. Like I really got into this album.
Yeah. And that's EP, Trash, Lost and Strung Out. This one, I hated it whenever it came out. When it was brand new, I was like, what are they doing? But over the years, like I listened to this like, I don't know, a year ago, and I was like, this is actually like pretty good. So this is Are You Dead Yet?
What's some stuff you didn't like? Or
I didn't like it because it wasn't as like neoclassical-y and stuff. It was a little bit more groove metal kind of oriented and stuff. And it wasn't as like the soloing and stuff just wasn't as cool. And I hated that he was just like, I don't give a flying fudge, motherfudger. You know, I just didn't like. I just thought it was just this stupid album that was just trying to get the kids into metal, and I was just like, fudge this, you know.
Yeah.
Even though,
Too angsty, huh?
All right, let's see. Groove metal, saying fuck a lot.
They got this down. So, anyways, now I
still
think
like
it's
some of
pretty
that
good.
crap. So you know.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good now. I've never heard this one. I heard it sucked, so I believe everybody else. But this is Relentless, Reckless Forever.
Well, sometimes the consensus can be trusted.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, but what's funny is with Children of Bodom, after that 2005 album came out, I was done. I didn't buy anything by them. It wasn't until like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago that I went back and bought like a lot of those albums because I was kind of like, you know what, maybe they do have a little bit of cool stuff. And here's Halo of Blood. That one's like pretty good. I've only gone through like once. This one is kind of I remember not caring for this one. I Worship Chaos. And then this is their last album, Hexed. I think this one's actually pretty good too. And I'm not saying that just because it's their last album or whatever. Like I think that one's actually pretty good. So, if you were like me and you quit after, that 2005 Are You Dead album, then you might find some later stuff that's pretty cool. And then
I do like that artwork.
Yeah.
that artwork is cool. You like holding a castle.
Yeah.
It's like, don't think about it. It's a castle. I'm hanging.
Don't think about it, right?
And then we got Circus Maximus with the first chapter. Dope stuff.
I got into these guys pretty much right at 2005. Like this album was like brand new. And I remember it was funny because like I remember there being a little bit of a debate between is like Legacy of Gaia better or is like First Chapter better, And it's funny because like looking back, it's like because both bands only had one CD, but they were new bands. And now Circus Maximus has 4 and like, before he hasn't really got anywhere,
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of funny how like comparing the two today seems like why would you compare them?
Yeah.
But like back then it was like, well, because they came out around
At
the same time.
And you got into them purely by like 2 YouTube videos of them playing live.
Of like a little 30-second
30-second clip.
Actually,
there
no,
or
that had
something.
to have been 2006 then.
Ah.
Yeah, because YouTube came out in 2006.
2005? I thought it came out in 2005.
Or was it 2005? Maybe.
But it might have been
I can't
2006.
remember.
I don't know. I can't
But it was
remember
really
either.
early on in YouTube, and
Yeah. This is the Japanese version, so it's got like the bonus tracks and stuff. So kind of cool. Yeah, but I just remember like you bought it and it was in the jazz section,
right?
And you're like, oh man, you know.
And
jazz we got
section.
Circus Maximus with Isolate, and we did this album for our channel as well. So check that out if you're interested. And this is the Japanese version of Isolate. It's kind of cool. And this is another band where I just bought the albums again because we were like living in different places, and you know. Then we got Circus Maximus with 9. Circus Maximus is just a phenomenal band. Like, you really can't go wrong with any of their records. Here's Havoc. This one people like the least, but I think it's one of their best. Like, they're just so consistent. Like, them and, like, Riverside, I feel like, are 2 bands that do, like, prog rock, prog metal stuff that they're just so freaking good. And plus, these guys need to be known more, too. Like, they're pretty obscure.
Plus, they're a very human kind of prog metal band, so...
Yeah. And this is one where, like, the first couple albums are, like, more emo kind of rock stuff or whatever, but then they started incorporating some metal in their, like, later albums. So this is Coheed and Cambria. What is it called again? The Second Stage Turbine Blade.
I've always heard that name, but I've never even, like, heard what they sound like,
Yeah. They're kind of like Rush, if Rush was a little bit heavier, and if Rush was, like, emo. I mean, the singer dude's got a high voice. And then here's the second album, In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3, Coheed and Cambria. And they're a band that I got these like fairly recently, like within the last like month or two. And they're a band that like I like a little bit of it. I remember you and I went through this album together because our friend was like, "Hey, check this out." Whatever. And some of it's pretty cool. This is the Good Apollo. I'm Burning #4 or whatever.
It reminds me more of like pop punk.
Yeah,
you know, a lot of times it reminds me of pop punk to me. You know, so
something my little sister would like.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, because they do kind of have a little bit of that emo like punk kind of element to their sound. And then here's the Good Apollo Part 2. I think it's called No World for Tomorrow. So kind of cool. You know, the thing is like in high school I hated all this stuff. I remember when Welcome Home came out, that song was big, and I was like, fudge this, man. I'm listening to some Dark Tranquillity or Sonata Arctica or whatever. And going back and checking out those bands and stuff, I'm like a little bit more like open to them now than I was back then. And it's kind of cool to find them, you know.
Right.
Here's Communic, Conspiracy of Mind. This is a pretty good album if you like prog metal stuff. And then we got Communic with Waves of Visual Decay. And then we got Conception with The Last Sunset. And this is Roy Khan's first band before he joined Camelot. So kind of cool. Early looking press or whatever of this. This is their first album. And then we got Conception with Parallel Minds. I think this is a little bit harder to find. Honestly, the first Conception albums are probably a little bit harder to find. And then we got Conception in Your Multitude.
It's so crazy seeing Roy Khan so like young.
Yeah.
It's like, wow.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you were young at one point. And then we got Conception with Flow. This is my favorite from them. I think this album is phenomenal. I like Camelot better, but Conception's got some good stuff, though. And then we've got, almost there, Conception with My Dark Symphony. This is like an EP. And there's a song, I think it's on, maybe it's on the single. Yeah, Feather Moves. Man, that song is fucking beautiful.
Sorry to interrupt you. Tommy Newton, produced by Tommy Newton.
That's Jimmy's brother.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Is it?
Jimmy Neutron?
Jimmy Neutron. Come on. That's what it is. No, I don't know.
I was like Tommy Newton. Like that sounds familiar. I'd have to do some digging or something, but there might be a connection there.
Yeah, and this is oh sorry.
You
want to keep talking about Tommy Newton?
Yeah.
No, I'm messing. No, yeah, I don't know that name.
Yeah.
This is a Conception. This was like a single with Grandigan and Feather Moves. Dude, Feather Moves is freaking beautiful. Oh my goodness. Almost dropped the CDs. Whew, wouldn't that be embarrassing? And then we got State of Deception from Conception. This is their newest album. That one's pretty good. And then we got Chuck Schuldiner last album. This is Control Denied. Fragile Art of Existence. So, anyways, got clean vocals or whatever instead of doing his guttural growls and stuff.
Have you listened to this that much? I think I tried going through it one time and I wasn't really feeling it, but I don't know. Maybe I should give it another spin.
I don't know. I've never really listened to it. I saw it because I was buying other metal albums, and then I was like, oh yeah, this is like the side project of Chuck Schuldiner. So then I picked that up too, and then I never got around to it. Yeah. This is Alice Cooper, Love It to Death. So this is actually a pretty good album. I'm pretty new to Alice Cooper too. Like my older brother. And then here's Alice Cooper with Killer. So kind of cool, the little silver CDs and stuff. My older brother was playing some of their songs, like this has got to be about 6 months ago or something. And I was just kind of like, man, this is actually really good. And then my friend in Canada, Spencer, was like, oh yeah, Alice Cooper has got a bunch of good songs and stuff. And here's
you guys never heard them when you were younger and crap?
I mean, I knew like the famous, I knew the famous songs, but I didn't know like the albums or any. Here's $1 Billion Babies as well. So I was kind of just like, he was an artist that I had a greatest hits, but I never listened to that, and I just never really jumped into his stuff. And then it was like, wasn't until like my brother playing that I was like, man, Alice Cooper's pretty good. And then I started listening to his albums. And then we got Alice Cooper with Welcome to My Nightmare. So here you go. Then we got Alice Cooper with Thrash. So this is a pretty good album. I like that one. I like these Alice Cooper with Hey Stupid. Pretty cool. And then this is the greatest hits that I barely have listened to. Here's the best of Alice Cooper. It's like Mascara and Monsters. It's a little greatest hits. And then I think these are represses of some kind because I got them for pretty cheap. Here's Coroner with Punishment for Decadence. This one was okay. I wasn't as much of a fan of this one, but I do like their following two albums. Here's Coroner with No More Color. So kind of cool art too. I like that they got like a style that they have with all their albums. Yeah, like a kind of like Diary of Dreams. Like they have a certain style that their albums follow. And then here's a Corner with Mental Vortex. This one's probably my favorite. I like this one a lot.
That was one of their famous ones.
Yeah, I think people generally like this one or the one before. I think those are usually people's. This one's $7.99, man. Like that's pretty cheap. Here's Corner with Grin. So kind of cool, So I haven't listened to that one, so I don't know how good it is, but I was almost done.
I checked out some like Corner back in the day because I was checking out a lot of like tech thrash type stuff. Like that's when I was checking out like Phlebotomized. I was checking out like Mekong Delta, a little bit of Watchtower and stuff. But like I never like got into Corner, but it was something that was like on my radar that I was like trying to listen to this and that and. Yeah,
it's a band I've heard a lot, but I've never jumped into them.
Right. Yeah.
And then we got Cradle of Filth. This is their EP, Vampire. And then we got Cradle of Filth with Dusk in Her Embrace.
I gotta look at that one again.
I was like, wait a minute.
This one, I think so that's the Cradle of Filth is a band that we hated. Well, I hated in high school, and it was like the only extreme metal band that all my friends were getting into.
Yeah, and you're just like, what about this? What about that?
Yeah, and I was like,
they have their little necklaces and upside down crosses and their makeup.
Yeah, here's Cruelty and the Beast. But I like Dusk in Her Embrace. I think it's pretty good. It wasn't until many years later. It was when their 2015 album came out, and I was like, this is actually pretty good. And then I was like, I'm going to go back and like listen to it because, I was just like a little bit more open to them. Here's Cradle of Filth with Midian. So they're not a band that I love. Like they're still like, but I like them. I think they're pretty cool, but they're never going to be like one that I'm like all about or anything. This was the greatest hits. I got it for like $2. Lovecraft
Cradle
and
of Filth has the greatest hits.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got Damnation in a Day. The only song I knew from high school was that Mannequin song, and I remember really liking that. I thought that was cool, even though I was just like, I don't want to say I like them or whatever, but I was like, this one's cool. And here's Hammer of the Witches. This is the one that I heard that came out and it was new, and I was like, let me just give it a shot. People are saying that it's like a return to form for them and stuff, So I remember being pleasantly surprised. And then we've got Cryptoriana, The Seductiveness of Decay.
I like a lot of like Cradle of Filth's like song titles and stuff, because it reminds me. Because it reminds me of like when I was getting into Theater of Tragedy, some of that old sounding type of stuff. Like a lot of the song titles will be like, I don't know, Dusk Fall on a I don't know, snowy whatever. Just
at first I thought you were joking. Just because
I'm dead
like
serious.
Amphetamine.
No, but like it has like a gothic kind of
style. They're a blend.
Like, even the artwork, dude. Like I think the artwork's pretty sick, even though it's like all a bunch of naked people. Still,
like,
pretty awesome.
Yeah, blend of like symphonic black with gothic metal. They're probably the most famous that kind of does that sound.
Right. Yeah.
This one I think is a little bit harder to find. This is I Hate, Therefore I Am. This is Cyclone Temple, so it looks kind of cool. And plus, you don't see that. I love it when metal doesn't do black or whatever. I love it when metal does different colors, either like white or yellow or whatever. I'm just like, oh, that looks cool. It's different,
That was another band that because I was checking out a lot of that late 80s, early 90s tech, thrash, whatever stuff. And I really love that Public Enemy song. Like that's the song that got me into them.
Yeah.
So
and then we got Cynic with Focus. This is a great album.
I think that's another band that I got into because I picked
you
up.
might have, I don't know.
Traced in Air. I ordered it and
Traced in Air.
Yeah.
I think I bought these like again or something. I think maybe it was Traced in Air that I bought again.
Could be, yeah.
Yeah, so
I just remember getting into it on my own, and then
Cynic with Retraced EP, and then Cynic with Carbon Based Anatomy, and then Cynic with Kindly Bent to Free Us. So a lot of Cynic. If you like progressive metal, death metal, I guess more so on the first album, not so much in the later albums. They didn't jazz fusion stuff. Like, oh, sorry.
Didn't they kind of lose like the like death metal vocals and kind of like that sound?
Yeah. For a while, Focus was like their only album, you know, and then 2008 was when their second album came out.
They do have some gutturals, but like they do a lot of like the vocoder, singing stuff. Yeah. So.
All right, we got Carcass, Hard Work. I need some more Carcass, but there's that one. Colonel Forge, The More You Suffer. I had more of their albums, but. Yeah, you know,
just life happens.
Yeah, Children of Bodom, Hate Breeder. I remember going through these with you guys because I never like got into these guys, and then going through those albums, I was definitely digging it, but I'm not like super familiar with it, so I need to listen to it a little bit more. Yeah, but I know it's stuff I like. Yeah, Children of Bodom, Follow the Reaper.
Didn't we do a battle between Follow the Reaper and Hate Crew Death Roll?
Really? Yeah. And like I remember like the lyric. I kind of like it was like last time I was here, and like and there was like a lyric that was about like a famous murder and like
Bodom After Midnight.
And like I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool, like referencing that kind of stuff because. Anyways,
but I think like Chad and I liked Hate Crew Death Roll, like we rated that one higher. And like for those of you watching, sometimes we'll take two albums and then we will play them back to back. Like we'll play track one on this album and then we'll play track one of this album and we'll give them a score. And then at the end of it, we'll find out which album we like better. So I think me and Chad liked Hate Crew Death Roll more, but I think you rated Fall the Reaper higher.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds about right.
Yeah, Children of Bodom, Hate Crew Death Roll. Hate Crew Death Roll. I can't roll off the tongue there.
Death rocking and rolling.
And then Cynic. Okay, I Traced in Air. All right, so yeah, this is definitely one for me in, so thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And dang, I barely had any C's, but that's it for me. That's it for us.
Yeah, so this was the Metal Collection for Forgotten Legends of Sound. Anything you guys want to say, or should we end it?
So...
Oh gosh!
What will our viewers expect for the next video?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe D's.
All right. Thanks, everybody.